Hey guys, it's Jessii Vee, and whoa! There is a lot going on here right now. There are two new things sitting in front of you. The first thing is obviously this really bright orange floral background. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have worn a floral top with this background because there's just so much going on. I feel like Alice in Wonderland right now, sitting amongst the flowers, singing with them. I saw this background online and I thought, you know what? I don't think I have ever had a bright orange background on my channel. Ever. I also just have this soft spot for florals, so I had to get it. Hopefully it's not too bright and obnoxious for you guys. If it is, I mean, don't worry, it's only gonna be up for about 15 days or so. So just, you know, try to enjoy it the best you can. It reminds me of summer. It's all warm and comforting, so that's what I'm all about, right? And the second new thing is obviously that I finally got my roots done. I went and had a sleepover with Mandy the other day and she did my roots and kind of pulled the color all through my hair. So now it's back to beautiful Ariel red hair, and my forehead is stained a little bit from the dye, so just try not to, you know, pay attention to that. It'll wash off when I have a shower. Oh, by the way, one of the worst things about having red hair, and listen, I love red hair so much, but whenever you have a shower, it literally looks like your entire body is just bleeding. Like, I'll be showering and I'll look down and like it'll just be red. I'll be like standing in a pool of just red hair dye. And I wish someone told me that the first time I got red hair because I was not prepared for it. I looked down and I was like, am I dying? But I'm sort of used to it now, but you know, still kind of weird. Anyways though, today's story time is going to be about Siri. My Siri in particular. Now, I know there was a huge trend with Siri, I think back in the winter time, maybe around fall. It was the whole talking to your Siri at 3 a.m. And I was debating on doing that, but I just thought like, nothing's gonna happen, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the videos that actually had something scary happen with their Siri were kind of faked. I don't know. I just think that personally because it's a robot. It's just a robot. I know my friend Brittany44, she did that at 3 a.m. and nothing happened with her Siri, and she's totally credible, totally trustworthy. So if nothing happened to her, I just feel like I trust that a little bit more. But at the same time, I'm a huge believer in the paranormal, so there's always the possibility that maybe a couple of those videos were real. But in the end, I just decided not to hop on that trend just because, I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it, you know what I mean? And then last week, something very strange happened with my Siri, and I just had to tell this story to you guys. And to you guys, when you hear it, you might not think it's that big of a deal, but when you're in the moment and you're woken up at like 2 in the morning, it is. Like, you have to almost put yourselves in my position to understand what I went through with my Siri the other day. So before I get into what happened, I think we just need to recap about my house situation here. So everybody already knows that I have tons of ghost activity happening here in my house, but the scariest part for me is the forest behind my house, as you guys probably know. I've done some investigating over there. Ty and I took that silly ghost app out there and it said danger. I found not only just one, but 2 ghosts in video footage there. So one was that little boy ghost that showed up behind the fence, and the other one was that sort of cloaked figure crouched down in the forest. So ever since finding all of this stuff, I've just been freaked out by the forest behind my house. I mean, it's beautiful. I love it during the daytime, but as soon as the sun goes down, I look out there and I'm like, it's freaky. And even whenever I have my friends over, or especially Mandy, they always tell me that they have these really weird vibes about the forest behind my house. And even my dog Winnie, like, she'll just bark out the window at the forest. What else have I found? I found creepy footprints going through the forest when there's no houses behind there. In fact, the forest is like gated off, so it's really random. And then my bedroom upstairs literally has a big window looking out to the forest, so I sleep pretty much right beside it. But anyways, we're gonna stop the recap because you guys are probably rolling your eyes because you heard about these stories a million times, but it just has to sort of do with what Siri told me the other night. So I was sleeping peacefully, actually, having some great dreams. I was so exhausted that night. I think it was last Tuesday. I don't really know, but beginning of the week of last week. So I was just sleeping peacefully and suddenly I get woken up by this talking sound. Now, for some reason, when I first heard this sound, I thought thought it was a radio or an alarm clock because my entire life, like when I was going to school, I was always woken up in the morning by my alarm clock, and it always was a news station, so I always woke up to someone talking. That's how I always woke up my entire life. So I think when I first heard this talking, my brain went back to my 8-year-old self and was like, oh, it's time for school. But then I like snapped out of it and I was like, wait, no one is supposed to be talking in my house right now. So I look over and I usually keep my phone in the drawer in my bedside table. So I look over to my bedside table and I just hear this like mumbled sound in the drawer. So I open it up and lo and behold, my Siri, you know, like when you talk to Siri and that screen sort of pops up and it writes out what she's saying? She is just finishing a sentence and it's like a whole paragraph long. I wish I screenshotted it for you guys, but I was so like confused at 2 a.m. of what was happening. But she was talking about a ghost in the forest. And I was so confused by this. But then when I started reading what she actually said, she was talking about a Berenstain book, and I have it pulled up on Amazon right here. It's called The Berenstain Bears and the Ghost of the Forest. And this book was written in 1988, November 8th. Like, this book is ancient, okay? It's really old. And it just took me back, and immediately I felt this like cold shiver run down my spine and I was frozen because I know it's a kid's book and it's like just a silly cartoon drawn book and I shouldn't be that freaked out about it. But when you think about everything that's happened with the forest behind my house and all of a sudden my Siri is talking about this old book about a ghost in the forest. It just didn't sit well with me. It was very confusing. Like, I couldn't understand why this happened. And I know that there's a lot of stories about people's Siris going off at random times. Sometimes it just like hears your voice and responds even though you didn't press the Siri button. And so maybe I was talking in my sleep, or maybe Siri has just the last few months been hearing me talk about the forest and it's like in her memory. I don't know how she works. Does she retain everything that you're saying? Because I've heard stories about like your phone hearing your conversations and that's how you get certain ads on Facebook and Instagram. So I don't know if she always hears me talking about a forest and so she recommended me this Berenstain book. I don't know. Also, saying Berenstain is so weird because I know that whole Mandela effect video and everyone used to think it was Berenstain Bears, but now it's Berenstain, and that just freaks me out. So the Berenstain Bears already are kind of a creepy subject to me, so just seeing this book was weird. Anyways though, I went on to Amazon and they do have a paperback version available. It's $5.99, so it's extremely cheap, probably because it is so old. And I remember reading the Berenstain Bears when I was a little girl, and I had probably a stack like this big of tons of their books, and never once have I ever heard of this one before. So guys, please comment down below if you owned this book, if you've heard of it before. It's just so random to me. I didn't think they did like horror type Berenstain Bears book because it was meant for like 7-year-olds, right? Anyways though, on Amazon it gives you a chance to look inside the book. I think it shows you the first few pages. So I'm just gonna read those first few pages with you guys just to see like what this is all about. It's so weird to me. Okay, so it says, off go the Bear Scouts to camp out all night. Will an unwelcome guest visit their site? This is so eerie. I feel like if someone read this to me as a kid, I would not sleep, you know what I mean? Look out for Papa, said Brother Bear as the Bear Scouts tiptoed down the stair. We won't need Pa, Sister Bear said. Not this trip, agreed Cousin Fred. I don't remember these books rhyming. Did they actually used to rhyme? That is so interesting. I see you scouts are on your way into great spooky forest for an overnight stay. Wait, is he just letting his kids just go out to the forest by themselves to stay? And why is it called the Great Spooky Forest? Like, that's literally what's behind my house. Pa, I hope you'll excuse us, said Brother Bear, but this is a trip we'd rather not share. It's also a trip I'd rather not share. Me sleep with spooks, not on a dare. What? Spooks? Gasped the scouts, not a little afraid. Spooks of all kinds, a nightly parade. This is so weird! And boss of them all, the ghost of the wood. Call off the trip, scouts. I really and truly think you should. That is so weird. So this Father Bear is like, you guys probably shouldn't go in that forest because it's filled with tons of spirits and creepy stuff. What the heck? I'm like tempted to just buy this book. But honestly guys, please comment down below if you've ever read this this or even heard of this. But yeah, that's what happened the other night with my Siri, and I don't know why she did that. Should I ask her? Should I ask her why she recommended me this? Siri, why did you ask me to read a book called The Ghost of the Forest?
Okay, searching iBooks for The Ghost of the Forest.
That didn't get us anywhere. Siri, do you think there's a ghost in my forest?
I really couldn't say.
Why did you wake me up at 2 a.m. the other day?
I don't know what that means. If you like, I can search the web for, why did you wake me up at 2 a.m. the other day?
That's not the answer I wanted. Why did you tell me about the Berenstain Bears?
Looking. Okay, I found this on the web for why did you tell me about the Berenstain Bears?
It's just showing me like Mandela effect stuff. Ugh. See, this is why I never did that 3 a.m. challenge, because this is the response that I would get no matter what time it is. Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't believe that I have beliefs.
Because that makes sense. Aren't there certain things that people ask Siri that like she has a creepy response to? I'm gonna look this up. I know we're getting way off track here, but I'm just like really like interested in this. This is not a creepy question, but it says to ask her this. Do you have a boyfriend?
Why? So we can get ice cream together, and listen to music, and travel across galaxies, only to have it end in slammed doors, heartbreak and loneliness? Sure, where do I sign up?
That was the saddest thing I've ever heard. This is another one people ask. What's a good place to hide a body?
I used to know the answer to this.
Okay. When will the world end?
I have no idea, Jessica. But I hear it will be with a whimper, not a bang.
What does the fox say?
Ring ding 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 ding.
Whoa, so fast. What is the meaning of life?
I give up.
That is really depressing. Why are all these answers so depressing? What does Siri mean?
What does my name mean? I don't think I can explain it in your language. Sorry.
Okay. Comment down below something you've asked Siri and had like the weirdest response from. Also, if you have any creepy Siri stories, comment that down below too. Anyways though guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video. I know it's nothing long or spectacular, but whenever something weird happens, I'd like to just make a video or a story time for you guys so you can hear about it. So yeah, I really hope that nothing else happens in the middle of the night with my Siri. I just thought it was a really weird coincidence. Anyways though, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.